we are going to do a season outlook for the Dallas Mavericks.
Are you ready?
I want to welcome Nick Mac, the producer for the Mac Daddy Ryan show. He's a diehard Mavericks fan. I'm very fortunate to have him on here. How you doing?
Hey, thanks for having me on, Mac. I really appreciate it. It's kind of funny. We got Mac and Mac on here tonight.
Yeah, Mac and Mac in the show.
Really excited to talk about my Dallas Mavericks, man. I'm actually really hyped up for this season. We got a lot to get to, so let's do it.
All right, man. I have had not a love relationship with the Mavericks, but I've always liked them a lot. Dirk Nowitzki has been a dog forever. I'm a big fan of Mark Cuban. I think he's one hell of an owner.
Right.
And when Jason Kidd came over and won the championship with that squad, that was like the Cinderella story, the underdog story for the ages. So it was really fun to watch them. But fast forward now, and that team is looking nice with Luka and Porzingis, and they got Tim Hardaway Jr. in that trade. I feel like that was a steal. Tell me about the Mavs, man. What do you like? What do you not like? What are you unsure about?
Well, I think it's no secret that we have an absolute superstar in Luka Doncic. I mean, his numbers last year, 29, 9 and 8.
9.
Yeah, I know, man. Dude, just outrageous numbers. And people got to remember that was his second year that's his sophomore season, man. And if you compare those numbers to Kobe Bryant's MVP season, rest in peace, Kobe, 08-09, Luka's numbers actually blow those out of the water. So that shows you just how.
So numbers are a bit deceiving now. The game is a little bit different.
Right.
I had to put on for my boy Kobe.
No. I love Kobe, man. But I'm just saying, numbers wise, and I'm not somebody that just looks at numbers. I look at everything because there are some things.
Numbers wise, he put up one of the best seasons.
Oh my God. One of the best sophomore seasons of all time. Easily top 3 sophomore seasons of all time. But I think it's no secret that on the defensive side of the ball, he's one of the worst in the league. And it's no secret the Dallas Mavericks were very high in offensive efficiency and very low in defensive efficiency. But I think we did a lot to address that in the offseason.
All right, let's talk about the offseason. Tell me about some key additions and some key players that they lost. I know Seth Curry going over to the 76ers is big.
Right. Losing Seth Curry does hurt a little bit. It's like a sentimental thing almost. But I think we can let go of that a little bit. I saw a lot of promise the other night out of Josh Richardson. Josh Richardson, we got in a draft night trade with the Philadelphia 76ers, obviously, in exchange for Seth Curry.
There's a reason why you guys let Seth Curry go, because Josh Richardson has a lot to bring to the table.
Exactly. He didn't have the best season in Philadelphia. He had 13-3-2, I think, but he's only 2 seasons removed from that big season in Miami where he had 16-5. And he brings a perimeter defense where he's going to have the bulk of the load this year, guarding guys like Harden, Giannis, KD out on the wing, out on the perimeter, but he's going to have to bring it. And I think maybe being paired with Luka might bring out the best in him.
Oh, at least in my opinion, anytime that you're paired with a bona fide superstar, and that's what Luka is, you should bring your best out. Because in my mentality, and I feel like with a lot of guys in the NBA, they made it to the NBA for a reason. So you have a mentality of, I'm not going to let the next guy outwork me. So I would assume that the best out of Josh Richardson will come out, because also of the dynamic difference between Luka and Ben Simmons, the main ball handlers on that team. Luka can stretch it a little bit more than a lot more than Ben Simmons can, which should free up a little bit more space for Josh Richardson to operate, make shots, and drive to the basket.
Yeah, one of the things that always just leaves me jaw dropped about Luka Doncic is his court vision and just how especially gifted of a passer he is.
Mm-hmm.
He just makes it look easy. Again, you got to remember this is the team that took the Clippers to the brink in that bubble. And I say that by meaning we're sitting here a bogus ejection of Kristaps and a couple of bad calls from talking about the Dallas Mavericks bouncing the Clippers in the first round last year.
Yeah, man, they put up one hell of a fight, and until, like you said, until Porzingis went down, I said, man, and then Luka got the ankle injury, and then he was playing on the one leg, and he was still performing, going crazy.
Yeah,
This dude he's must watch basketball. He's absolutely amazing. One thing that I do, let's get back before we get off a little bit too much. What other offseason additions, or was Josh Richardson the main one?
well, he was the main one. I think the one you have to look out most for. But one big concern about Seth Curry leaving has been the lack of perimeter shooting that might be available on this team. But I think we got a sleeper pick in the draft in the second round in Tyrell Terry out of Stanford. And I think he might be able to fill a role, come off the bench, and might be able to stretch the floor and hit some perimeter shots. He was one of the leading shooters in the nation last year. So I think he might play, a vital role this year, maybe off the bench. But I think Tim Hardaway Jr. is going to have to step it up. Dorian Finney-Smith obviously is going to have to step it up. And for the first 6 weeks of the season, you got to remember, we're not going to have Kristaps Porzingis or the first
I was gonna bring
two or
that
three.
up.
Yeah, and we're really going to miss that because Kristaps is somebody who stretches the floor too.
Mm-hmm.
Being a 7-footer that could shoot the way he could shoot.
Yeah.
And that's going to be a platoon of Dwight Powell and Maxi Kleber filling in for him. And they're not anything special. They're all right. I mean, they're 9-5-1 guys. They're your average run-of-the-mill backup centers in the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really going to count. It's really going to come down to the guard play and the defensive mindset of this team.
Yes, I think defensive mindset is key because, like you said, last year they were one of the most efficient offensive teams, or they're very efficient on offense, but defense is lacking. And as we've seen with the Lakers, defense wins championships. If you can stop the other team down and you could put up some points every now and again, you're going to be able to win. But with Luka, I feel like the difference between a star and a superstar for me is a star is a guy that's going to go out and get you points and he's going to look good. A superstar is a guy that's going to go out and do that, but he gets wins. Luka is a superstar. I see this guy winning championships in this league. His talent is undeniable, and he's the difference maker between getting a win and a loss.
You know what? Luka elevates everybody around him too.
Yes.
And that's another quality of another difference between a star and a superstar for me as well, is he elevates everybody around him. And I think we saw last year in the bubble a vast improvement in Trey Burke and Jalen Brunson playing behind Luka a little bit. And I think they're going to play a big role this season as well and moving forward.
Yeah, especially after the condensed offseason. I know Luka's still young, so he should be able to – I expect him to take that load, but there are going to be other guys that's going to need breaks periodically, I'm assuming. They did play in the bubble. They did, like you said, put up one hell of a fight against the Clippers, and that wasn't too long ago. So these backup guys that don't normally play big minutes or, they just get their 18 to 22 minutes, they're going to be playing some extra minutes.
Right. Absolutely. And you got to remember they drafted another dude in the first round out of Arizona who's no joke, man. Josh Green. Josh Green had a hell of a year last year at Arizona, and I'm looking forward to watching him play too. And he's gonna play a role in that, interior for them, because that's where the Mavericks have been lacking for a long time. Let's be honest. It's nice to see Kristaps get his big blocks and big dunks every once in a while, but he's not an interior beast that a team like the Mavericks needs. That's why I was hoping they would go after somebody like Trez this offseason. And hats off to the Lakers for landing him. Just making the West that much more tough to get through, of course. But we're missing somebody like a Trez, like a beast, like a Paul Millsap. And that's why I'm really looking forward to next offseason too. Because I think the ceiling for this team is maybe a 4 or 5 seed this year.
I was just going to ask you, let's get over to that. Let's talk. You just said 4 or 5 seed. Win projections are kind of weird this year because of the condensed season, 72 games. So it's kind of hard to put in a definitive win-loss. But saying in a 4 or 5 spot, that sounds good. I'm going to name some teams, and you tell me if you think if the Mavericks are going to have a better record or a worse record. Lakers.
Okay, I could do it. Better.
Better record than the Lakers, or Lakers?
No. Lakers better have better record than the Mavericks.
Lakers better. Clippers.
The Clippers will have a better record than the Mavericks.
The Nuggets.
Ooh. The Nuggets will have a better record than the Mavericks.
The Suns.
The Suns will not have a better record than the Mavericks.
The Rockets. So that's up in the air too. Let's say James Harden stays.
Ooh. I think that's who we contend with in the 4-5 spot with. I think that's who we. I honestly think we can compete with Houston this year. So let's say they may have a better record, but it's 50-50 for me.
Okay.
With Houston
and the Warriors.
Listen, man, Steph looks good. Steph looks good this preseason, man. I can't
James
even.
Wiseman is a perfect piece for them.
James Wiseman is my pick for Rookie of the Year just because of how well he's going to fit in with the Golden State Warriors. Man, I'd say if Clay was there, they would definitely have a better record, but I think they're definitely missing. They're missing some things on the defensive side of the ball and offensive side of the ball. So I think actually the Mavericks finish with a better record than the Warriors.
All right, there you have it. That would land them at about the 5th spot. So we'll see. I think that this team has high hopes. I agree with you. I see them slotting if James Harden stays right around where the Rockets stay. So around that 4 through 6, that top 7 or the top 8, all 8 spots in the Western Conference, you're going to be clawing and fighting because you still have the Pelicans, you still have the Grizzlies, you still have the Blazers. Do you think they'll have a better record than the Blazers?
It depends which. It doesn't depend on Damian Lillard because I expect Lillard to have a monster season.
It depends on the health of the big guys.
Well, Nurkic is huge for them, and he needs to be on the court. But also, it depends which CJ McCollum shows up, and the Blazers need him to be the CJ McCollum that was not the one that was in the bubble, but pre-bubble. Okay. They need that CJ McCollum that was there when Lillard was hurt, taking over. They need that takeover, like killer instinct, CJ McCollum, if they want to do anything this year. So no, right now I don't think, but that could change if we see a different Blazers team than I've seen in the past. Yeah.
Okay.
One hot take I do have for the Dallas Mavericks, and this is for the offseason after this year. They do have a max player slot opening. And yes, there's guys like CP3, Kawhi, and Blake available as free agents, but they also have player options. One person that's unrestricted and I think lands with the Dallas Mavericks next offseason is Rudy Gobert.
The international players matchup and a Rudy Gobert, Porzingis interior and length would be ridiculous.
Championship team. They have a max player slot. They can give Rudy Gobert the max. I don't know that Utah has the funds to max out Donovan and Rudy Gobert. So I think if Dallas can offer Gobert the max, that's where he goes. And Mark Cuban knows it.
All right. Hot take for next season. I want to end this Dallas Mavericks season outlook with one more question.
Go ahead.
Luka Doncic, MVP next season? Yes or no?
Yeah.
There you have it. MVP, Luka, Dallas Mavericks.
Are you ready?
We'll see what happens.
Let's talk smack.